Today, I'm critiquing Andy Cohen's property in the Hamptons, and then I'm going to give it an Arvin score at the end of the video. So if you ever decide to buy, design, or build a property like this, you won't make the same mistakes. I'm Arvin Haddad. I'm the How to Buy Mansion guy. Let's watch this video together.
AD, I can't believe you're here. I watch these videos all the time, and now I'm in one. Crazy. Come on into my beach house.
Okay, if somebody told you, come over to my beach house, would the first picture that comes to your brain would look like this? To me, it doesn't. The right property name for this, I will call it a beach cottage, and I will tell you guys why. First of all, it doesn't look like your typical home, and it's on a raised foundation because it's on a sand lot. It's not on a dirt lot. I'll get into that later in the video, but most importantly, it's really much smaller than what you would think when the word beach house in the Hamptons would come up. It's more of a shack or a cottage, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? It's just that how are you going to use it, right? It's not that place that you throw massive, wedding events and parties and, kids are playing volleyball on the, back lawn and a massive swimming pool. It doesn't have any of that stuff, okay? It's more of a place that really cuddles you. It's a cozy place, right? And it's that like weekend getaway that is quick, it's easy, low maintenance, and it makes you feel like a home.
Let's start here. This is kind of my everything room. It's living, dining, hangout, stories before bed. It's the whole schlabeel. This is Lucy's piano, gift from Ellen Barkin.
Okay, that door that you see over there is the door to a bathroom / powder room. And right behind the kitchen, there's another room. They never show us in this video. It's either a guest bedroom, office, or a laundry room.
I am not a great cook. I'm gonna be real with you. However, one thing I do know how to do is barbecue. And I have a beautiful barbecue right out there. I throw 4 or 5 dinner parties a summer. The vibe is super informal. We set up a buffet right here. We have seating for 14 at this table and seating for another 8 outside.
And zero privacy from your neighbor. Your neighbor's got a commanding position with a direct line of sight to your dining table and the inside of your kitchen and formal living space. Not ideal whatsoever. But what I do like is all the terraces around his property. First of all, it's all indoor, outdoor. The whole property just opens up. But what it opens up to is absolutely usable. And he has used it. You will see in this whole video. And the whole property is perched up like a lifeguard tower. That's the word I was looking for. Perched up above the sand dunes, because if it wasn't, you would be looking at the sand right in front of you. So it's perched up. You clear enough on the first level to see a little bit of ocean, and then the views get much better. And you've got a second story terrace above. He's going to show you later in the video.
The sound of the ocean for me is so therapeutic. The sound of my children screaming usually is ringing through the house, but also the background is the ocean and the Grateful Dead. My apologies, or you're welcome, depending on your point of view there. I've been coming out to the Hamptons for over 30 years. I have a lot of friends who are out here.
By the way, that's the office, laundry room, or guest bedroom that I'm telling you about. That's as much as I got in. Make your guess as to what it is. It's probably a guest bedroom. It could be even a really large, landing area for coats and closets and everything. Let's talk about the color palette and the finishes. Very simple, very minimalistic. Wood clad on the top, same color wood on the bottom, pretty much really light and pop colors. Again, this is his happy place, you can tell. And it's really important if your weekend home is proximity to your main residence is within less than, let's say, 2-3 hours, you get a lot of use out of it. And the most important element to me for a weekend home is to be completely different, not just in its scenery, but also in its architectural form and orientation of the house. Why? Because you want to control all deletes, okay? When you go enter that guest house, that weekend home, you want it to all your senses to reset. It will completely take your head, shake it up, and say, forget about what you had back home. And this is a different experience. So you kind of reset. When you go back, you're excited to see your home again, and you come with a fresh mind. And this property absolutely does it for him. I can tell.
I love this living area. It's super informal. It is super cozy. These chairs are Brazilian, as is this couch. I have to say, you will find at the end of the night, me in this chair and one kid here and one kid here. This is our story place, and it just works perfectly. We can all just kind of fall apart in these chairs together at the end of the day, and it's just magic. It's a great vibe. You know, I've always been attracted to bold colors, and in all of my homes, that's what you're gonna find. We found this little old table, got it for next to nothing at Beal and Bell in Greenport. This coffee table, I think, is really cool. The kids use it as a place to color. So this is a piece of art by Peter Dayton, and he's a surfer himself. And it basically reads like a flattened out Hobie surfboard, and I love it. I love yellow. The ocean is super important to me. I like to start the day by jumping in the ocean. I like to end the day by jumping in the ocean. The ocean is my absolute therapy.
Okay, let's talk about lot orientation and privacy. First of all, you're southeast facing, meaning you're going to get a lot of light in the morning and most of the day, except for the evening. Having said that, the property is modern and it's got glass everywhere. So this property is going to be lit. But what it's not going to have is that much privacy. It's not gated up front and you have full access through the beach. None of those are ideal.
So this is the Kajuzzi deck. This is where we start our days usually. You know what? I got no problem giving the kids breakfast right out here. Throw the TV on, listen to music. One of my favorite things in the entire house is this MaxLam table. I think it's so cool. That jacuzzi gets so much use. And one of the great things about the design of this house is that it really is built as a beach house. And two things I want to point out. The floor of the deck, there are spaces in between, so we never have to sweep the sand from the deck. The sand just goes through. Also, I can come straight from the beach and go up that spiral staircase to my outdoor shower, which is a total joy. And because I plan to have this house for the rest of my life, when I am no longer able to walk up the stairs, I plan to turn that spiral staircase into a tubular shaped elevator. And that's how old man me is gonna get up and down these stairs.
Okay, two things. First, this outdoor deck is awesome and I will tell you why. Its proportions are right. It's competing with the living room inside because it's the right size. It's giving the indoor living room run for its money in the summertime. Why would you be inside when you have this? That's how it's fighting for its space for the family time. And second, I doubt he's going to live here forever. Every time one of these celebrities do an AD video, the property ends up selling in the next year or so.
AD, what are you doing in my bedroom? Oh yeah, I invited you here. I love this bedroom. This is my happy place. I bought the land that we're on in 2019.
For $5.4 million.
My big specification to my great architect, Gordon Kahn, was that I wanted the house to be fully indoor-outdoor, and I wanted to be able to see the ocean from as many vantage points as possible, and I also wanted to hear it.
Okay, let's talk about the architecture because it fits the land and the location. What do I mean by that? A lot of times, someone is building their dream home. They have this obsession with, let's say, Georgian style architecture, and they're trying to force the issue on a small lot in freaking Palm Springs. Like, what are you doing? Neither Georgian architecture goes with Palm Springs, or the lot size you bought, or the shape of the lot goes with it. This architecture on a sand lot, which is probably was limited as how much you could build on it, with the modern architecture allows you to do this perched up approach and then also have it all open indoor outdoor flow to get the maximum out of the property like you desired. So it's the right architecture for the right location. But did you miss the flaw? There's one big flaw in this property, which I don't think he really thought about when he commissioned this building. Pay attention, see if you spot it.
We got this wallpaper last year. I think it is wild and crazy, and it's kind of reflective, and you can see it reflecting as you come up from the beach. It's just super cool. This is where the staircase ends, and that's my outdoor shower. I never actually shower inside during the summer. It's always an outdoor shower for me, and I get the sunset over there. It's the perfect spot. And so I love my little primary suite here. I've got my bedroom, and then my bathroom is just behind it, and then the outdoor shower.
And the walk-in closet is probably right behind the bed. But do you know what's not on this floor, and it's a flaw for this property? A nursery, another bedroom next to your primary bed. His kids are on the lower floor and they're young. So if they wake up in the middle of the night, you have to go down the stairs to attend to them, and that's not ideal. By having a little flexible space on the upper floor, it really allows and opens up the demographic of, families with smaller kids to either, if they don't have a kid, they could use that as an office, as a library, or if they have a kid, they could say, oh, we can have our little kid baby over here till she grows up and goes downstairs. Now, I don't think Andy had kids when he started building this property, so I don't think he thought this out. Now, he has to kind of work through it till the kids get older, but after that, when the kids get older, that issue is resolved.
So this is the roof, and it is just the spot. What can I say? When I have dinner parties, we start with cocktails up here because the sunsets are absolutely magical. I like to do a really long cocktail hour when I have dinner parties, like a couple hours, make people super hungry, loosen them up before we sit down for dinner. I have a lot of meditative nights up here under the stars, blasting music. I grew up in the Midwest. I always aspired to go to the beach. We went to Florida for vacations. So the fact that my kids get to grow up with access to the ocean is just, for me, a fantasy, and I hope it is for them too.
Okay, another great outdoor deck for this level with really good views. But the most undervalued, or I would say underappreciated element about this house is really Andy's choice to be really nimble with his weekend home. You see, I think people will walk into his house and be like, why is it so small, right? But they don't get it. They really don't get it, because he could afford any of his neighbors' homes if he chooses to, or at least most of them. But the main element here is that he's choosing not to max out. It's such a refreshing thing to see. When everybody's trying to max out, 90% of people will be like, why don't we just add another bedroom up here or 2 bedrooms? Just max it out. What are you doing? He's not doing it. He's purposefully staying very nimble and trying to let the property breathe. And it just makes it, to me, that's the ultimate luxury. It's not about maxing out. It's exactly the opposite, is having the ability to max it out and not doing it, just doing it right, just right.
Let's talk about the kids' bedrooms. I just absolutely adore them. They're so colorful. They're so playful. Ben's bunk bed is incredible. It is covered in cork, and the wallpaper is Warhol wallpaper. It's very kid-friendly and very cute. And he plays in there, and he loves sleeping on the top bunk, and there's a shelf up there where he keeps all of his special stuff. Their bathroom is just so cool. Jackie designed the tile work in all of the bathrooms, and it's evocative of this Paul Smith swirl fabric that is really emblematic to the Paul Smith brand and that I've always loved. And so reimagined that using spectacular colors that were handpicked by us.
Okay, the 2 bedrooms downstairs are pretty small. They don't have their own bathroom. They share one, and the closet space was really small as well. It's really a party house. Again, I really think Andy built this before he had kids, or before he knew what his kids would really need and want. Having said that, he's using it as a weekend home, so he might not care as much. Okay, let's give it an Arvin score. But before I do that, here's the link to the inner circle. I'm raising my prices August 1st, 2026. So if you're thinking about joining, this is your time. It's going to be more expensive. I'm running out of time. Location. This is one of the best locations within the Hamptons. I'm going to give it a 9. Lot quality. Look, it's pretty much a half an acre. Okay, a little slightly over half an acre, but the lot itself is a sand lot, and it has dooms in it. So like you had to build up. I can't give it anything more than a 6. Lot utilization. You don't have a private driveway. You do have a horseshoe driveway setup you can enter, and you're set back from the street. And your distance to the beach is actually pretty far. I'm going to give it an 8. Privacy. It's just not that private of a home. You have exposure from the front, you're not gated, and from the back, from the beach side. And even though you're perched up from the actual ground level, because to clear the dune so you can have views, you still get a line of sight from your neighbor coming in. And for that reason, I have to give it a 5. Lot orientation. You're southeast facing. I'm going to give it an 8.5. Architectural style. I definitely think it was the right type of architecture for the lot and for the location. And the choice of exterior material made it age well. It probably looks better today than when it was built. It's got that rustic skin and patina on it right now that fits the land even better. Having said that, I don't see this as a, architectural innovation in any way. I was really happy the architect didn't really, max out the lot, which I really appreciated. I'm going to give it an 8. Views. You got direct ocean view, but they're kind of peekaboo view from first floor and, much better from the second floor, but you only had 1 bedroom there. I'm going to give it a 7. Layout. First, you had to take the stairs to get to the front door. I don't even think you had stairs from the garage to the main residence. So you probably had to come out of the garage, take the stairs to get on. But once you get there, you do have a wow factor. Your bedroom arrangement is not ideal, but it's very efficient. The spaces really flew well together. And the indoor-outdoor connectivity was amazing for the location. The terrace spaces, just the connectivity really made you feel the land and the sea. I'm going to give it a 7.5. Scale and volume, just really average. The proportions were good, except for the kids' bedrooms. I'm going to give it a 5. Finishes. Look, it wasn't luxury or bespoke. Most interesting was probably his art and furniture than the actual finishes in the property. But it made him happy, and it definitely at least fit the location, what he wanted to get out of the property. But I can't give it anything more than a 5. Now, here's the Arvin score. If you want to see a beach house that I actually love in Bora Bora, and here's the QR code for my inner circle, and I will see you guys in the comments. Take care.